I love this arrangement here in this area. It's so gorgeous, and it just really just brightens the space up. I have this aged cedar fence here in the background, and I feel like the juxtaposition from the aged rustic cedar fence, which I love, to my beautiful floral arrangement really just makes this area pop. The only thing is, I do think I might want to add some pot feet, so I think we'll head in. But one of the things I'm most excited about is now I have another seating arrangement out here in this area. So typically in my garden, every area that I have, you'll find some type of seating. You'll find a table to where if you want to come out here and take lunch here, take breakfast here, then it'll be easy to do such. And I love to just tuck those tables in to various areas in my garden. I'm actually looking for a bistro set. I continue to look at the antique stores because your antique bistro sets are going to be completely different than your typical sets that I'm starting to see now. They're not as heavy. And so that's why I'm really just focused on the antique bistro set. And I think if I could find 2 or 3 of them, it would be perfect because I have areas envisioned where I want to add these bistro sets. Now, this arrangement, totally gorgeous. We planted this up together in another video. I'll be sure to link that one as well. But it's packed full of goodies, and I'm so excited. But one thing I do want to do is I do want to go grab some pot feet for it. I think an option like this. So we'll need at least 3 of these. So let's go grab 2 more. Yeah, we'll have to go grab 2 more. Here, let me show you. But this is going to be absolutely perfect. So, a tiger's foot. I use 4 claws on this arrangement since this container is heavier because of all of the plants that it has in it, as well as the size of the pot. Sometimes I actually will use 4 steel with a smaller arrangement. It just all kind of depends on the look, the vibe, and the feel that I'm wanting for this area. I absolutely love this. It picks up, it certainly flows, and it draws your eye back to this area here.
Now soon this area is going to be 100% completely filled with blooms, and I can't wait for you to see them. But now we're going to head to our next project of the day. I'm challenging myself where I take 15 to 30 minutes in my garden where I do some type of task related to gardening or a problematic area. The goal today was to come outside and to take these chairs, put them out here, put the arrangement out here, put the table. While other times when I came out here to complete the challenge, it was more strenuous in work, to where I was removing leaves, removing big, large trees from this area here, repotting standard hydrangeas. But for today, sometimes you got to give your body a little bit of rest. And so that's what I did. And so we just did this simple chore here. Now, there is still a ton of things that needs to be done in this area. But for right now, this is what we had set out to accomplish today, and we did just that. So one of the main reasons for the goal for this area was I wanted to make a one-skillet spaghetti, and I wanted to eat it outside. Didn't necessarily want to eat it on the patio because we got the whole situation with the birds on the patio. But I wanted to kind of just eat it back here so I can sit back and observe the new changes is going to be coming to this area, and kind of just take in and see if I want to tweak anything. So let's head in and make this one-skillet spaghetti. We'll see how easy it is once we put it together, and then we'll talk about it. Here are the ingredients that you're going to use for the single skillet spaghetti. I wanted to just go ahead and knock out the recipe and actually see how long it would take. But when you're filming, it takes a lot longer to do things. So we got our tomatoes, garlic, olive oil, zest of a lemon, lacinido kale, 3½ cups of water, Parmesan cheese, salt, arugula, and basil or basil. And what you're going to do with this is you are going to combine your tomatoes, your salt, parm cheese, a drizzle of olive oil, zest of a lemon, 3½ cups of water or until the noodles are covered, and cover in a pan. You're going to let that cook for about 4 minutes, and then you're going to add your greens, cover again, let that cook for 4 minutes, and then you're going to uncover and let it rest. Now, here is where I made some changes to the recipe at. So I couldn't get my hands on any lacinido kale, so I went ahead and I omitted that out. And instead of using the Swiss chard, let me write that down because that is part of the recipe. So Swiss chard as well. So instead of using the Swiss chard, I went ahead and I used spinach, because that is a great alternative, because your Swiss chard, you can use that as a substitute for spinach. So I use spinach instead. The 3½ cups of water, I would go with like 5 if you're using a full box of spaghetti. And that is very important because that is how you're going to get your sauce from the starch from the spaghetti. So she really breaks it down. A very genius idea when it comes to putting a spin on spaghetti. And we all, or at least I know, I have a very, very busy schedule. So this is perfect. And I feel like you can prep, cook everything in about 15 to 20 minutes and then eat. It's going to take longer when you're recording things, but it is absolutely perfect. And here is the recipe. And excuse my handwriting because I was writing fast. Next, I also want to address the plates that I use in order to plate our single skillet spaghetti. So we recently went on an antiquing trip and I found these, and I said that in my next video I was going to reveal how much they cost. These came in at $54 for all of the Chinaware. The entire set that I got, I paid $54 plus tax. So it was a total steal. I was able to find replacement pieces as well, and I absolutely love it. Really, really good and delicious, but this is what I use to plate them up on, and I totally enjoyed it. We made the one-skillet spaghetti from With Love Meghan, the Duchess Meghan, and I absolutely loved it. When I tell you that I binge watched the Duchess Meghan show, it was absolutely beautiful, and to me it was authentic, and I could really just tell that Meghan is definitely, that's her personality, and I absolutely love it. It was like a breath of fresh air. She was so cheerful, and I could just really appreciate that she is in total peace, and I love it. Like Netflix, we need a season 2. I'm not sure where it's set at, but wherever it is, the grounds are absolutely gorgeous. It is absolutely gorgeous. It falls under the category of a reality TV show, and she just invites her friends and her loved ones out there, and it shows you how Meghan prepares for guests. It shows you how Meghan just lives her everyday life, and I love it. I mean, it just shows you another side of her. And I feel like anytime that you're inviting someone into your space and just showing them what your daily routine is and how you live your life, one, to be able to see a behind the scenes, really, because that's how I'm looking at it, to be able to see a behind the scenes, if you will, was absolutely amazing. I loved it. And she dropped so many gems. And a lot of the things that she is doing, Who doesn't incorporate those? I got some wonderful ideas that I can start to incorporate. I mean, now I feel like I'm the hostess with the mostest. I feel like I take it over the top. When my guest is coming, I make sure I have things available for them. But when I tell you, Meghan like really just puts her all into preparing for a guest, and I absolutely loved it. And she did some gorgeous arrangements, and it was speaking to me. So I absolutely loved it. And I watched the series not once, but actually twice. And the second time I watched it, I turned it on really just to get the recipe for the one-skillet spaghetti. And when I tell you that by the time I look up, I'm already on episode 2. And one of the things that sparked my interest really was the trailer, because the trailer was like, okay, what's going on here? What's going to happen? But you know how sometimes you watch a trailer and the show just does not deliver? That show, With Love Meghan, absolutely 100% delivered. It was everything that I expected from her. I wouldn't expect anything less. I mean, and you could just tell she has such a pure heart. She's so sweet, and 10 out of 10 for me. It was definitely a 10 out of 10. Now I want to start working in my shade garden area in the way of the second bed here. So in this area, I have 2 beds here. They're raised, and we had to raise them because I had these 2 big, huge, mature maples that have roots that come out of the ground. It's naturally how that tree performs. So no matter if you think you did everything right, the type of maples that these are, you're going to get the roots that come to the surface, because typically these type of maples you would see more in like a swampland type situation. So I came in, I added 2 raised beds, and I have been adding in some columbine in previous videos. So I want to start to work on this second bed. So I want to go ahead and start to knock this out. But I am seeing a lot of hair. And normally when I see that, that means that there may be a nest somewhere. And so if that's the case, I definitely don't want to disrupt the nest. I mean, it's just hair everywhere. I mean, look at this. Can you all see it? Hair here, hair here, hair over here. And I believe there is a nest, guys. Oh my, there go another one. Can you all see the little rabbit there? It's so small. It is the smallest thing. But now, how are we going to get this rabbit out of here and get it back in the nest? Because I have dogs, and I don't want my dogs coming out here and finding these. Yeah, so I know I can't touch it, but somehow, some way, I have got to get this rabbit and put the rabbit back in the nest. Where's the mama? And I can see where pieces of the nest have been disrupted. So here's some fur here, some more fur right there. It's the nest. Oh, look at it, y'all. It's freezing. Oh, poor thing. Okay, so it's covered up for the most part, and what I did was I kind of just created like a parameter. I put some heavy pots right here. I'm imagining it shouldn't be long before they come out and are no longer needing that refuge in the flower bed and can kind of fend more for themselves. But I kind of just created like a double wall here with my poodle, and I have a labradoodle. Penelope is not going to do anything, but the poodle, I think he thinks that he I mean, he's a dog overall, but shouldn't be too much longer before the rabbits come out of that nest. I was actually planning to come out here and work a little bit in my shade bed. This area is going to be transitioned, and by the end of the summer, it's going to look quite different. And I mean different, but I'm going to go ahead and get my poodle in the house. That's my poodle you hear in the background. Was my son's poodle, but I'm going to get him in the house. I have rabbits all throughout my garden. I know they can be a pest. They can be an absolute pest, but they don't bother me in that sense. I'll come out and I'll have like rabbits, just like, and I'm talking about larger rabbits. They don't bother me. They don't too much nibble on my plants or anything like that. But as far as the plants that I have in ground, because I know oftentimes I get asked, do you have anything in ground? Yeah, I have things in ground. But the way that I do garden mostly in containers, but I do have plants that are in the ground as well. So for me, I don't necessarily see a problem with them being here, but I would almost have a heart attack if I came down and I seen that rabbit inside of my house because Pegasus brought it in. So absolutely not. So hopefully they'll get to the point where they can go on about their way. Let me go get Pegasus inside the house because he's upset. He's on the other side of the gate where he normally is not. So he's having a bark off with the other dog that's on the other side of the fence. And so, yeah, so let me get him inside the house. Come on, boy.